making sure everything's good. Just no show from one of the guys. He's a fighter, kind of a decent
Mm-hmm.
one too. And so the morning of, he texted me, hey, I forgot it was like a family reunion or documentary or something. I was like, he said, let's catch you again. And then I
Yeah.
still haven't rescheduled.
You know what?
LA's a little, sometimes they're flaky out
I
there.
don't know. I don't think it's just LA though,
No?
Janelle. I honestly believe that that's just the nature of how people are in general. Because I've had it happen. I don't really think people are really focused from a business perspective. Like I think
Mm-hmm.
it depends on the industry. So if you was to ask me, I would say that a lot of times when you're talking about athletes or people that are not necessarily content creators,
Mm-hmm.
they're more likely to flake or hey, we need to reschedule or
Not
something like
content
that.
creators. The
Content creators are a little bit more
like with
focused.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Especially when, exactly. Let me think. Yes. Athletes, it's different. You're correct on
It's
that. It's
crazy.
different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I travel a lot. You travel a
Mm-hmm.
lot. So, we have to be really on top of it and on our schedule. And what I'm starting to find out after I've interviewed um different athletes from, influencers, Instagram, whatever it
Everything.
is.
Yeah.
What I'm starting to find out is that people that kind of had things given to them or have been coddled in a sense, like, athletes a lot of times they didn't have the best training and they had people that keep them on track and stuff
Just
like
like
that.
mentors, but
They a
maybe
little bit more irresponsible.
irresponsible.
Yes,
Hmm.
100%.
Interesting.
People that are not getting it themselves or is not self-made, like they may train hard because that's what they got into,
Right.
but they are not as responsible in my opinion.
Well, it's like that, like even in like the dating realm,
Mm-hmm.
which is so interesting because like when anytime if I'm not dating someone and I happen to say, okay, maybe I'd like to go out and have a nice meal. I mean, I'm a single mom to an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
I run a business myself with
Yep.
no, full-time employees. I have teams in the UK or in Eastern Europe and Southeast Asia
Okay.
of editors and people that help me.
Yep.
But I don't like, I run everything, right? It's me. The
Mm-hmm.
Shakti Show is really what my show is going to be called. And then, I run a nonprofit, which I've had to not be able to give as much energy to that right now
Yeah.
because when COVID hit, it was like business or nonprofit, you choose. And so I chose my
Business.
business, of
Got
course,
you chose right.
because it's funny because I was mentored by Tony Robbins' team and Tony Robbins himself.
I love
And
Tony Robbins.
thank you. Yeah, he was a huge part of my story and stuff. If you Google me and stuff, you'll see a lot about me and
Yeah.
my articles. And why I'm here today, like 1,000%, other than my tantra training. But like they invested Tony Robbins' PR team to come train me.
Okay.
So the reason why I'm like, I've always been natural on camera and stuff, but the reason why I know what to say or how to say something really quick, a lot of it came from the training they did with me. So
Yeah, they're really good.
they're really good. They took me to San Diego and they were actually training their team. And so they trained me like I was one of their team. So
That's pretty
he'd put me
awesome.
on camera and the big ones and he'd ask me all these questions and he'd say, okay, I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you this. And then he'd tell me, okay, do it again. And here's what you do. And so I really I listened to everything. I took the videos home. I watched it. It was cringing watching it back. Like, oh my gosh. But it taught me a lot about like how to be and how to be, on camera and how
Yep.
to not even not so much, but how to be able to like respond
Mm-hmm.
to things that come up really quickly and how to even be able to address things before they even come up.
Yeah.
Which is something a lot of people don't do. They wait until it's too late.
I agree.
So if you see like my page, a lot of people probably are like, what is she doing? But I know exactly what I'm doing. And
Yeah.
a lot of people probably think like, God, she's posting stuff and like, why is there so many different black men? Which
Well,
is so
a lot
fun.
of people don't understand that. They don't understand the marketing side of it.
Correct.
Right? And so the marketing side of it is when I talk to people a lot of times and they're asking me things related to content creation or marketing or whatever. A lot of times I tell them because I look at everything from a business perspective. A lot of times I tell them, especially women, that you have to resonate with your audience. And a lot of times people do things because they like you or because it resonates with them in a specific way, not
Yes.
necessarily just because you have the best product. And if you don't know how to market yourself, and women inherently have a leg up on men
They do.
because you're women.
We're
You know what I'm
women.
saying?
We've
You're
got a lot of
beautiful.
extra body parts.
Yeah. I mean, and it that's just the way it is. And
That's the way it goes.
it's beautiful. And a lot of people don't leverage that in order to continue to create that visibility for their audience. But you don't have any problem. Like, you don't have no problem with that. You lean into it.
I really try to, I'm just messing with my mudras here, y'all. So I got it. Hold on. So it goes, I've been really working on these lately. This one is like a harder one to get. There, I got it. So it's my Shakti symbol. So I'm building energy right now as I'm sitting here.
Okay.
Yeah, focus. So I stay focused. But a lot of times, but then when I talk, I have to let it go because I use my hands. So when you're talking, I go back into the mudra. But so I think a lot of people, your marketing is your business card for everything on social. Like,
Right.
it's eyes that get you in and draw you in. And I used to be a little bit like, my marketing was a lot bolder actually. And then when I started dating, I guess I can't call him one of the loves of my life. Like, he was a lot younger, but he kind of was like, you got to calm down a little bit. And he was like 15 years younger than me. And I was like, really? And so I tailored some of I calmed down a lot actually. He's like, I know what your message is, but he's like, and I know you don't care, but he's like, I want you to care because I want you to get more like higher clients like you want, And so I really I actually learned a lot from him, even though he was 15 years younger than me. And he wasn't like, he's a barber. Like, what am I going to learn from a barber, right?
Yeah.
Like, but I did. And so I credit him. Maybe even in my book, I might say something about him, but because I really switched my marketing in 2021 towards the end, and I started taming everything down. You're probably like, wow, this is tame, but it was a lot more crazy. And then I just sort of was like, you know what? I'm just going to do what I want to do, still within a realm of where I wanted to think. Obviously, I look the way I look, which is however people interpret it. I wanted to not alienate women because most of the people that invest, like, okay, a guy's going to pay me, 15 to 2,000 for one session, right? For coaching. Now, if he brings his wife to my retreats now are 7,000, starting 7 to 10,000 to go 5 days, 4 nights, exotic location, all the
it's all included.
all the experiences, everything. And I save your marriage 1,000%, or spice it up, or help you attract a partner. That's like a guarantee. If you give me 4 days, 5 days of your life, I'm going to deliver. So I'm not worried about that, but it's still an investment. And I didn't want to alienate women from feeling like it was too much. And I was always nervous about that. But I learned from a lot of the wives that came to my retreat that they were like, we actually like that you were like bold with your body. And that helped us to feel like, because a lot of women aren't like me, but they're maybe way the other way. And so to see a woman who is like not obscene, but was just like embodied.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a difference between like 304 and like a woman who's like sensually, spiritually connected to her body. And it's like not shameful. And she's like connected to it. It's not for anyone else but her. So the wives were telling me like, if you hadn't been that bold, I wouldn't have come. And I was like, really? I thought it was going to be too much, because I'm like, I attract a lot of faith-based couples into my retreat. I don't know how, but it's interesting because, I know the Christian community and the faith, I came out of it, pastor's daughter, missionary's daughter. So like,
really?
Yes.